Okay, picture this. You're scrolling online and you finally spot those $200 sneakers you've been eyeing forever. You don't exactly have the cash right now, but hey, right there at checkout is that magic button. Pay in 4, just $50 today. It feels totally manageable, right? So you click. But here's the reality of what just happened. You didn't just buy sneakers. You actually just took out a loan. And get this, 50.7% of Gen Z digital buyers are doing this exact same thing every single week, mostly without even realizing it. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack the trap that's hiding in plain sight right at your checkout screen.
The whole illusion of buy now, pay later completely relies on the massive contrast between that super harmless-looking $50 payment and the actual harsh reality of $200 in debt. Buy now, pay later is, at its core, just a short-term loan that slices your purchases up into smaller, bite-sized pieces. Usually it's 4 payments spread over 6 weeks. We all know the heavy hitters here, right? Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. Their pitch is incredibly enticing. No interest, no hard credit check, and literally one-click convenience. I mean, it is perfectly engineered to feel like free money.
But there is a massive, massive gap between that sleek free money pitch and what actually happens. Think of it kind of like a $200 restaurant bill. A friend offers to cover the whole thing and says, hey, just pay me $50 every 2 weeks. Sounds awesome. But now imagine doing that every single week with different friends covering different bills. Suddenly, you owe 5 different people $50 on these completely overlapping, totally chaotic schedules. That smooth one-click convenience, it really quickly spirals into this messy web of disjointed debts. And this chaotic web isn't just some worst-case scenario. It's actually the statistical norm. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, an unbelievable 63% of BNPL users are out there juggling multiple loans at the exact same time. And remember, we aren't talking about managing a 30-year mortgage here. These are concurrent loans for everyday, totally disposable items. We're talking sneakers, sweaters, even your Friday night takeout. Consumers are just quickly losing track of exactly who they owe and when that money is going to automatically vanish from their bank accounts. The sheer scale of this is honestly staggering. To put it in perspective, by 2026, 91.5 million Americans will be actively using Buy Now, Pay Later. That is more than 1 in 4 people. And the purchase volume? It's massive. We're looking at $70 billion in 2025, after growing 20% year over year since 2021. With millions of active users across just Affirm and Klarna alone, we have to realize this isn't just some fringe payment method anymore. This is a multi-billion-dollar shift in how our entire economy handles debt.
So who's actually getting caught up in this machine? Well, the demographics are pretty alarming. 61% of Gen Z has used one of these services. But here is where the danger really kicks in. 2 out of every 3 Gen Z users report running into serious problems. We're talking about severe overspending or deeply regretting a purchase later on. And it's not just the younger crowd either. Across all age groups, 41% of users have missed a payment, and nearly half openly admit that they spend way more money simply because that little button is sitting right there on the screen.
So why does it feel so harmless to just click that button? Well, it all comes down to this really powerful psychological concept known as payment decoupling. See, when you physically hand over $200 in cash, your brain actively registers that loss. Behavioral economists call this the pain of paying, and it's actually a built-in protective instinct that forces you to ask, wait, is this really worth it? But when you decouple the purchase from the actual payment and you shrink that immediate cost down to just $50, that protective pain drops by 75%. Suddenly the item artificially feels so much cheaper than it actually is.
Think about it like walking into a casino. Casinos don't want you betting with cash, right? They convert your money into chips, because throwing down a little blue piece of plastic just doesn't feel like real money. That psychological distance makes you way more reckless. Buy Now, Pay Later is essentially acting as e-commerce casino chips. It's making a $200 hit feel like a $50 tap. And it works so brilliantly that merchants are actually seeing their checkout conversion rates spike by 20 to 30%. The stores win, and well, your wallet takes the hit.
And this psychological trick is now leading to some very real, very permanent financial consequences. Historically, these loans were completely invisible to credit bureaus. They were treated almost like free money with zero long-term impact. But that changed in 2025. Affirm actually began reporting these loans, and FICO now builds that activity directly into your credit score. The Federal Reserve even flagged this whole thing as a systemic risk. I mean, think about it. Millions of consumers suddenly have a random late-night takeout order officially affecting their credit histories. Let's look at a real-world example to see how this plays out.
Meet Alex. Alex takes home about $3,200 a month. In January, he buys some AirPods on Affirm for $250. Okay, no big deal. Then in February, he uses Klarna for $180 in work clothes, and then Afterpay for a $120 birthday gift. By March, he grabs a few Amazon items using PayPal. Without even realizing it, Alex suddenly has 4 distinct loans running simultaneously. They are silently pulling $160 a month right out of his checking account, all on completely different, totally random schedules.
And right there, that is the trap. Alex honestly doesn't feel like he's in crippling debt at all. But because he's dealing with all these overlapping, chaotic payment schedules, he loses track and misses just one $62 Affirm payment. First, he gets hit with a late fee. Then, because these apps now report to the bureaus like we just talked about, Alex's credit score drops by 15 points. One missed $50 payment today could literally end up costing him thousands of dollars in extra interest on a mortgage 10 years down the line. It's wild.
So how do we escape this spiral? Financial experts have laid out 5 strict rules for managing this stuff. Rule number 1, treat it exactly like a credit card and track every single loan manually. 2, the cash on hand rule. Basically, never use it if you can't pay the full cash price today, period. 3, do a quick 5-minute check every Sunday just to map out your upcoming due dates. 4, stop using it for small, disposable purchases like your morning coffee. And 5, if you're already in the spiral, stop taking out new loans immediately and pay off the smallest one first to build some momentum.
The bottom line we have to remember is that buy now, pay later was never, ever free money. It's a highly calculated loan designed by billion-dollar companies who are banking on the fact that you'll spend more and lose track of those due dates. Those sneakers aren't $50, they are $200, and your future self is the one footing the bill. It really all comes back to one simple concept. Buy what you can afford today and save for what you can't. Honestly, that is the only real way you beat the checkout trap. So, this leaves us with a pretty provocative question to consider the next time you're staring down a digital checkout. I challenge you to take a look at your own financial apps right now. How many active loans are silently running in the background of your life today? Are you controlling your purchases, or has the convenience of one click started controlling you? Drop a comment below with your number, no judgment here at all. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you guys next time.